was a kid, I must have seen a commercial or maybe the VHS tape for Trilogy of Terror. I didn't watch it, but honestly, I didn't have to. This little guy was burned into my head. I had nightmares about him. Seriously, I once dreamt that I was in a huge auditorium being chased by this thing. But, as the name would suggest, he's just one part of 3 stories in Trilogy of Terror. I think it's finally time to sit down and give it a watch. One thing you'll notice is that the main character in all of these stories is the same person, Karen Black, and she does a great job. Here she plays Julie, a college professor. A few of her students are scoping the place out, talking about what girls they could sleep with. But Chad likes a challenge, and he wants Julie. But it won't be easy. She seems to be a rule follower, and if teachers date students, she could be fired. Plus, she kind of seems like the type to just stay home and focus on her work than worry about boys.
Yes.
But that's not gonna stop Chad. He wants what he wants, and nothing will stop him. Eventually, he manages to convince her to go see a movie, some German art film at a drive-in. Chad goes to get something to drink, and Chad, being a real Chad, spikes her root beer. She sucks it down pretty quickly and soon passes out. Chad takes her to a cheap motel, takes a couple pictures of her for the old spank bank, then you can use your imagination on what happens next. That night he drops her off like nothing ever happened. What a schmuck. At the door, Julie tells him that this was a mistake and it can't happen again. He could get expelled and she would lose her job. It's just not worth it. But Chad doesn't like that answer. So the next day he takes her for a drive to show her the photos he has of her, blackmailing the poor woman, knowing that she can't call the cops because she'll lose her job. It looks like Chad has her right where he wants her. But that night at Chad's apartment, we see a new side of Julie, a change of tone. She says that she's bored with him.
What a twist!
That she's no longer terrified or shocked. She's just bored. This whole game was actually her idea. She knew Chad would look at her that day at the school. She knew he would stop at nothing to sleep with her. So she played him like a fiddle. And now it's time to rosin up that bow. Is that an expression? Well, it should be. She didn't drug his drink. She poisoned it.
You've drugged me.
No, dear. I've killed you.
She lights all his photographs on fire and his body goes up in flames. Later on, we see that this isn't the first time she's done this to her male students. And it won't be her last.
Miss Eldridge?
Yes.
The next story is about Melissen and Therese, 2 sisters who hate each other. Melissen is the innocent brunette, and Therese is the wild blonde. How wild is she? Well, apparently she seduced her father, killed their mother, worships the devil, and practices voodoo. Yeah, pretty wild. But her sister's onto her, and she has to do something. First, she sits down and talks to Therese's boyfriend, Thomas. She tells him all about the stuff that Therese is into, but he doesn't believe her, thinking that she's nuts. Until Millie reveals she knows what he and her sister did.
I know all about that night at Morley and what happened there.
It's never mentioned on screen what it really is, but I'm guessing it must have been pretty messed up because she convinces him to leave Therese.
You are saved.
At her wit's end, Millie calls in Dr. Ramsey for his help. He's greeted at the door by Therese, which is obviously Karen Black in a wig. She ends up trying to seduce him. He quickly gets up and leaves while Therese yells at her sister, who's locked herself in her room, hiding from her. She's lost and confused. The only way out that she can think of is to off Therese, and she knows how to do it. They say fight fire with fire, so why not fight black magic with black magic? Melissen whips up a voodoo doll of her sister and wastes no time using it. Dr. Ramsey's worried about the girls and he shows up to find Therese dead, the doll laying next to her. He calls the ambulance, and before they can take her body away, the doctor wipes her lips clean and removes the wig. Therese was Melissen, and Melissen was Therese.
The most advanced case of dual personality I have ever seen.
What a twist!
The third and final story is what we've all been waiting for. It's finally time to meet Amelia and the Zuni fetish doll.
Boy, are you ugly.
She bought the doll as a gift for her boyfriend Arthur. They're supposed to go out tonight for his birthday, but there's a problem. Every Friday night, Amelia goes over to her mother's house for a visit. That's no big deal, right? Just cancel and go hang out with your boyfriend. It is his birthday after all. Well, Amelia's mom is a There's no way around it. Amelia politely asks if they could reschedule, saying that she goes over there every Friday and that this is a special day. But her mom doesn't want to hear it, and she hangs up on her.
Mom?
Amelia admires the doll she bought for a minute, reading the little note inside the box. This little wooden doll actually has the spirit of a Zuni hunter inside it. The only thing keeping it at bay and possessing the doll itself is a little golden chain around its waist. And, well, let's just say it's not tied on too tight. After a bath, Amelia calls Arthur to cancel, needing to hang out with her mom, which is lame. Obviously, he's a bit upset about this, but what are you gonna do? Now that she's not going out for dinner, she has to make something. But she doesn't wash her hands before or after handling raw meat. Ew, that's the real horror of this story. She then notices that her new doll is missing, and the chain fell off. She searches for it for a while, getting poked in the finger by a spear, but still no doll. She hears something in the kitchen and goes to investigate, where she sees a little shadow run across the floor. No one else lives with her and she doesn't have any pets, so that would genuinely be terrifying. The power cuts off, then finally the little fella attacks, stabbing her in the leg. Honestly, I don't know if I should laugh or be terrified. To think that this thing gave me nightmares. Although, I gotta admit, he's relentless. Amelia hides in her bedroom, but this thing knows how to open doors. So she runs into the bathroom, and now he knows how to unlock doors. She tries to drown him in the tub, but that doesn't work, so she traps him in a suitcase. But he has a giant knife with him, so he easily escapes. Eventually, their fight leads him to the kitchen, where Amelia tosses him in the oven, where he catches on fire and ruins her dinner. When she opens up the door, she screams, and that's that. A little while later, she gives her mom a call, with a change of heart, saying that they should spend the evening together. But Amelia's changed, possessed by the spirit of a hunter.
What a twist!
And that was Trilogy of Terror. What'd you think about this one? Honestly, I really enjoyed the first two stories especially. That's not to say the Zuni doll wasn't fun, it is, but Julie and then Melissen and Therese both had twists that I didn't see coming. Especially Melissen and Therese. When you see Therese for the first time, you can tell it's Karen Black in a wig, but you don't suspect that they're the same person, because she plays the lead in all three movies. It works out really well. And on the other hand, Amelia and the doll felt a lot like a modern-day Twilight Zone. They knew that sometimes less is more. Obviously, Karen Black stands out here for her role in all three stories. She was diverse enough that each time she felt like a new character. The supporting actors did a good job too. For example, you're really meant to hate Chad, so by the end, you feel like he got his just desserts. I'm a sucker for a good twist ending, no matter how hokey it is, so you're not going to get any complaints here. I came for the Zuni fetish doll and stuck around for Karen Black. If you haven't seen Trilogy of Terror, then check it out. It's worth a watch and quite fun. I give it 3 ruined steak dinners out of 4.